So starting over here, I want you to state who your team captain is and your team name.
All right. Jessica is our team captain. And
Jessica Tucker, okay.
And our team name is the Lazy Potatoes.
Lays potatoes.
My bad.
That's okay. So Lay's Book Potatoes?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Team 2?
I am the team leader. Elliot. Elliot is the team leader. And our is Cactus Smashers.
All right, Elliot, team captain with the Cactus Smashers. And then team 3?
I'm team captain and the team leader. Chicken jockey.
Chicken Jackie, all right. The Lay's Book Taters. In what book does the main character fall out of his desk, causing the whole class except himself and the teacher to laugh?
I know this one. You got it.
Freckle Juice by Judy Blume.
That is correct.
Yes.
All right. Cactus Smashers. In what book did the treehouse spin faster and faster until the main characters were in a world exactly like the picture in the book?
Magic Tree House, Dinosaurs Before Dark by Mary Pope Osborne.
That is correct. Chicken Jockey.
Yes.
In what book does the character learn to never take their pet to town ever?
In Tornado, author we don't know.
Okay, Tornado is correct though, yeah. Okay, and then back to team 1. In what book do the main character and his wife decide to train the birds?
Got it.
Mr. Popper's Penguins by Outlander.
That is correct. All right, Cactus Smashers. In what book does a group of characters have to eat the house in which they live in order to survive?
James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl.
That is correct. All right, team 3. In what book do 2 characters sit under the table to avoid getting wet from the leaky roof?
By Freckle.
That is incorrect. All right, team 1. In what book does a pet return to the main character?
Tornado by Betsy Byers.
That is correct. All right, team 2, our Cactus Smashers. In what book were 3 rich farmers also very nasty?
Mr. Fantastic Fox by Roald Dahl.
That is correct. All right, Chicken Jockey, team 3. In what book were the plans of scaring the 2 thieves ruined by the skinny twerp showing up unexpectedly?
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
That is incorrect. Back to team 1. In what book is a character warned to not put their hand on the animal found in the doghouse?
Tornado by Betsy Byers.
That is correct.
Yes.
All right, team 2. In what book does a piece of fruit grow right before the aunt's eyes on a tree that had never grown fruit, that had never before given fruit?
James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl.
That is correct. All right, team 3. In what book does the main character attempt to find a brown marker?
Freckle Juice
That is correct.
by Judy.
That is correct. All right, back to team 1. In what book did the main character's grandpa cut off the rattle of a dead snake to keep for a good luck charm?
I Survived the San Francisco Earthquake 1906 by Lauren Parrish.
That is correct. All right, Cactus Smashers. In which book does a girl discover that her 1840s village is actually a historical tourist site set in the 1990s?
Running out of time and we don't know the author.
That's okay, but that title is correct. All right, and so we are to team 3. In what book does the main character call City Hall about a license for his new pet?
By Tornado.
That is incorrect. All right, back to team 1. In what book does the main character get trapped inside the house after a blizzard?
Maybe by Karen Saros.
That is correct. Team number 2. In what book did a rat attempt to block access to a storeroom?
Mr. Fantastic Fox by Roald Dahl.
That is correct. And this is for team 3. In what book does one of the characters like magic and the other likes real things?
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
That is incorrect. All right, team number 1. In what book does the main character use the reflection of a car window to act like a mirror?
Freckle Juice by Judy Blume.
That is correct. Team number 2. In what book does a pet finally snap out of its traumatic experience when it hears a character tell everyone that dinner is ready?
Okay. Tornado by Betsy Barnes.
That is correct. All right, team number 3. In which book does a mother secretly send her daughter on a dangerous mission to save their community from a deadly disease?
Running out of time.
That is correct. That's okay. Back to team number 1. In what book does Admiral Drake want to take the birds to the North Pole?
Mr. Popper's Penguins by Atwater.
That is correct. Team 2, in what book had the flying reptiles, which vanished 65 million years ago, live in the Cretaceous period?
Magic Tree House, Dinosaurs Before Dark, Ark by Miracle Osborne.
That is correct. Team 3, in what book do a mother and father send their daughter off to live with strangers?
Running out of time.
That is incorrect. Back to team 1. In what book did the main character's friend spend every spare moment in the library to learn new facts about their city? You have 10 seconds.
The Magic Tree House.
That is incorrect. Team number 2. In which book does the main character forget to zip up his pants and then thinks to himself, zippers are a pain? You have 10 seconds.
Freckle Juice by Judy Blume.
That is correct. All right, team number 3. In what book does a boy fall off and drop his paper bag of magic stones, losing his chance of working magic on others?
Dinosaurs Before Time.
That is incorrect. Team number 1. In what book does the new pet take a nap in the refrigerator?
Mr. Popper's Penguins by Atwater.
That is correct. Team 2. In what book was the badger the most respectful and well-behaved animals in the district?
Mr. Fantastic Fox by Roald Dahl.
That is correct. Team 3, in what book does the main character feel she doesn't provide value like her necessary brother?
Running out of time.
That is incorrect. Team 1. In what book does the main character confuse a tiny town with a major city of Indianapolis?
All right, you got it. Running Out of Time by Margaret Peterson Haddix.
That is correct. Team number 2. In what book did the Southern Pacific Railroad give a free ticket to anyone who wanted to leave the burning city?
Running out of, we're not running out of time. Okay.
Sorry, I have to accept that answer. So that is incorrect. So team number 3. In what book do the children discover that a creature's skin is very soft and fuzzy?
Dinosaurs before.
That is correct. All right, back to team 1. So these will be your last sets of questions. In what book does the main character pay for a secret recipe?
Oh, this is easy. We got it.
Freckle Juice by Judy Blue.
That is correct. Team number 2. In what book does a group of insects cause firemen and policemen to faint?
James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl.
That is correct. All right, and team number 3. In what book do the performing birds and seals put on a show for the firemen?
Mr. Popper.
That is correct.
By Roald Dahl.
That is incorrect. All right, so that does conclude round 1. I will open all the round calls. Okay, so team 1 and team 2 will move on to the second round. So then let's give everyone a big round of applause for that first round. And these questions, just to kind of go over the rules for these ones, they are single questions, so there's no part 2 or part 1 to the questions, and they're each just worth 10 points, okay? So starting with team 1. In the book, Running Out of Time, how does Jesse finally expose the truth about the Clifton Village experiment?
By calling the reporter.
That is correct. Team 2. In the book Fantastic Mr. Fox, how does Mr. Fox manage to feed his family and the other animals while being trapped underground?
He digs to other places to get food.
Can you repeat your answer?
He digs to other places to get food.
That is correct. All right, team 1. In the book Mr. Popper's Penguins, what do the penguins do that helps Mr. Popper earn money?
They put on shows together. They put on shows.
That is correct. Team 2. In the book I Survived the San Francisco Earthquake, 1906, what causes the most destruction after the earthquake?
The fires that was caused from the earthquake.
That is correct. Okay, team 1. In the book James and the Giant Peach, what is the full name of the boy who embarks on an adventure inside a giant peach?
We don't know the full name.
That's okay. We will go ahead and move on to team 2. In the book Tornado, how does the dog get its name?
Because they found it after the tornado. Well, they came.
Let me confer. That is correct. All right, team 1. In the book Freckle Juice, how does Andrew feel after drinking the freckle juice?
He feels really sick. And his stomach hurts really bad.
That is correct. Team 2. In the book Dinosaurs Before Dark, what kind of dinosaur do Jack and Annie encounter first in the past?
I don't know if I can say this right. Pterodon or pterodactyl?
That is incorrect. Team 1. In the book May Be, what event leads May Be to become even more isolated from her family?
What does isolated mean?
Isolated means to feel like alone, like you're not connected with anyone else around you.
Mr. and Mrs. Oblinger couldn't be found, and there was nobody else near her. And she was the only one in the soddy.
That is incorrect. Team 2. In the book I Survived the San Francisco Earthquake, 1906, who are the bullies that Leo tries to avoid?
Fletch and Loki.
That is incorrect. Team 1, in the book James and the Giant Peach, which city does the peach eventually land in?
New York City.
That is correct. Team 2, in the Dinosaurs Before Dark, where do Jack and Annie find the treehouse?
Rock Creek Woods.
That is correct. In the book, Team 1. In the book Freckle Juice, who sells Andrew the recipe for freckle juice?
Sharon.
That is correct. Team 2. In the book The Fantastic Mr. Fox, what are the names of the 3 farmers who want to catch Mr. Fox?
I'll repeat.
Absolutely. In the book The Fantastic Mr. Fox, what are the names of the 3 farmers who want to catch Mr. Fox? You have 10 seconds.
I don't know it.
That's okay. Alrighty. Back to team 1. In the book Running Out of Time, what illness spreads through Clifton Village?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's
so
ty-
is it pronounced diphtheria? I can't pronounce it.
Tythoperia.
I can't pronounce it.
Diphtheria. Yeah, I'll accept it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Back to team 2. In the book Tornado, a turtle is the size of what coin?
A quarter?
That is incorrect. Team 1, in the book Maybe, what subject does May struggle with in school?
She struggles in reading.
That is correct. Team 2, in the book Mr. Popper's Penguins, what does Mr. Popper do to make his house more comfortable for the penguins?
He makes it really cold.
That is incorrect. All right, last questions. In the beginning, so team 1, in the book Running Out of Time, how does Jessica get out of Clifton Village without being caught?
There's like she goes through like a door that she goes through a door without the guards noticing her.
That is incorrect. Team 2, in the book I Survived the San Francisco Earthquake, 1906, what animal did the book say could feel the vibrations of the Earth's deep underground?
It's either dogs or wolves.
Gotta go with one.
Dogs.
That is correct. All right, we will tally up those scores. Alrighty, my friends. Team number 2 is our second place winner. And team number 1, you are our first place. Yeah! So I'm gonna give you guys this just to hold on for now. You guys all get your ribbons. And I do have certificates for everyone as well. At least we are.